Neil Armstrong, Eat Your Heart Out is the title of the 4th episode of the first season of Invincible. It's the two firsts for Mark. He has a first date with Amber and his first trip to another planet. He goes to Mars in this episode. It opens up with a kind of an intro to a foreshadowing of a villain that's coming, like an apocalypse type of villain from Egypt. That ends really quickly, so in a jokey fashion, but it looks like someone's being introduced for in later episodes. Then we go to Mark training with his dad, Omni-Man, Nolan, and they're flying around the Himalayas, they're flying through the deserts, and you can see his father is still much more powerful than Mark. He doesn't have control over his abilities, and his father is just a much stronger figure, which is a little bit ominous because we know they might fight in the future. Debbie, Mark's mom and Nolan's wife, is researching Darkblood, the detective that was researching her husband Nolan, and she's starting to become wary of her husband and starting to believe some of the assertions of Darkblood. Darkblood was like a Hellboy kind of character, and he was snooping around. A detective finding out who killed the Guardians of the Globe, and his trail is leading him to Omni-Man. Mark and Amber go on a first date. They go to like a flea market kind of thing, and as they get talking about different countries, because they're seeing like Chinese rice buckets and Filipino chests, she says she's been to the Philippines and she has like a Peace Corps kind of a background where she's gone overseas in the past to help people, and this is reflective, or this is a mirror image of Eve, of Adam Eve. She also has a very Peace Corps type of background. She wants to help people. So the characters of Amber and Eve are set up against each other. They're both mirror images. They have this like hippie persona where they want to go out and they want to help the world and they want to change things and they want to volunteer. But one is a superhero and one is a human being, and that's Mark's dilemma throughout the series. So it fits in nice for the metaphor of the whole series. Is he going to pick the human side, or is he going to pick the meta-human side, the superhero side? Debbie finally confronts Nolan when he comes home that she is realizing he might have had something to do with the deaths, the murders of Guardians of the Globe. They get into an argument, and then Cecil shows up. Cecil reappears, and he says there's a mission. The government wants someone to escort a NASA shuttle to Mars, a mission to Mars, and there's going to be 4 astronauts aboard. Mark comes home, and Mark hears about the mission, and he volunteers for the mission. And again, we see a divide in the family. The mother is okay with Mark going to help people, and the father is not okay with Mark going. The Omni-Man is only concerned with the safety of Earth and taking away all its defenses, so that when his people come to take over Earth, it can be done. He doesn't care about Mars or exploration of other planets or the advancement of humans. Whereas Mark and his mom, they think it's okay to help people, and they're going on a mission to Mars. They want to help humans. So again, we can see the division here and the ominous future that Omni-Man and Invincible might go head to head. Nolan tries to calm down Debbie, that she's suspecting him, and he takes her on a date to Rome, which is reminiscent of that first date, like kind of the honeymoon, and he could fly her around the world. So they go out to Rome, and they go on a romantic date to try to rekindle their relationship. A dragon attacks, very similar to the early episodes, Rome, and Omni-Man does nothing about it, and we see he's non-empathetic. He has no empathy at all for humans. He says, let Cecil take care of it. Let them do something for a change. And we can see he's really not interested in helping people if it doesn't concern his mission. This brings more suspicion. Omni-Man is becoming sus, and Debbie becomes more suspicious after he sees his reaction to Rome being attacked and him doing nothing. Invincible is escorting the NASA shuttle to Mars. He's staying out of their way. He doesn't want them to know. He wants humans to have achievements of their own. But as he's following them and watching them, they vanish, and the astronauts get kidnapped by Martians. So there's Martians that take them in, and Invincible goes after them, finds out what's going on, and rescues them. As they're fleeing from Mars now, trying to get out of there, a Sequid, they're like these little, they're like Starro from Justice League, and aliens, those things that go in your face, and they go into your body and take you over. These Sequids, these alien creatures, inhabit one of the astronauts unknowingly, And as Mark helps the astronauts escape this planet to go back to Earth, now one of the alien creatures is in the astronauts going back to Earth as another foreshadowing of another event that's going to take place. He's bringing this villain back to Earth with him. And the creatures that they were just fighting with, the Martians, were trying to warn them about the creatures. But they just kind of blew them off and escaped, bringing back that alien creature to Earth. So we're going to have Apocalypse in the future, that Apocalypse type of villain. And we're going to have the Sequoids, back on Earth in the future. So these are foreshadowing of things, fights that are going to be coming. Cecil then meets with Darkblood, and he has like this seance, this ritual, and he bans him back to hell. So instead of just taking Darkblood off of the case, off of the investigation of Guardians of the Globe, he just sends him back to hell. He eliminates him from Earth. He's gone. So I thought that was really interesting. It's one way to fire him. So he's gone from the case. Episode 5, the plot keeps moving here. These episodes are like 44 minutes long, or 40 minutes long, and they move at a nice pace. They're moving very quickly. So the show is really entertaining. It moves really long. In episode 5, we have another villain, but this guy is a street-level villain, Titan, and he can turn himself into stone, it looks like. And he assaults a rival drug gang, and he takes down all the gang, and he takes down all their drugs. And then it turns out later that he's working for somebody else, a rival crime boss, and he was eliminating that turf. And we go back and we see it's Machine Head, an interesting character, and he had taken a chip. He wanted Titan to go get him a chip, and he puts the chip in, somewhat like the designer right now. If you're reading the current run of Batman, the designer is always planning 8 steps ahead of everybody else. Now Machine Head with the chip can plan 8 steps ahead of everybody else and kind of foresee the next move of his enemies, and can plan things in a way where he can beat everyone. So he puts the chip in, and we find out that Titan really doesn't work for him. He's being blackmailed to work for him. So he's a street-level villain. He's very much like Sandman, kind of a bit. He turns into this guy, and he's being blackmailed to work for this gangster because he's concerned about the welfare of his family. So we're sympathetic to him, which is kind of a loop in the plot, which is kind of a... Debbie finds Darkblood's diary in her house. It looks like the Evil Dead book. It's got a face on it. And she finds out that Darkblood was really honing in on Omni-Man, and he probably did kill the Guardians of the Globes. And now she's really suspecting that her husband is maybe a bad guy. Titan sets out a signal for Mark, Invincible. He paints in yellow paint Invincible on top of a building. And as Mark's flying by, he sees it, and he comes down and approaches Titan. And Titan approaches him and tells him his dilemma, which is a very interesting plot. He says, this guy's holding me blackmail, it's a street-level crime, and I know you only save the planet or whatnot, but you should really get involved in humans and street-level crimes and see what's going on to make a difference. And Mark is persuaded by this argument that he should actually start looking ground level and start helping regular people. And he agrees to help Titan take down his boss and free him from the situation that he's in. When Mark goes home, he shares this plan with his family, with Omni-Man Nolan, his dad, and Debbie, his mother. And again, we see the divide. Debbie is saying, oh, it's a good thing to help people, and Omni-Man is only concerned with the defenses of the planet, if they're weakened, and if he's the only source of defense on the planet. He's not concerned with street-level crimes or street-level comics. He's only concerned with interplanetary defenses and threats. So again, we're coming back to that theme over and over again. This is one of the great fight scenes in this thing. As Mark and Titan go to confront Machine Head, the gangster, the mob boss kind of guy, they go in thinking that they're easily going to take this guy out because they've scouted out his headquarters. But when they go in, Machine Head, now he has the chip and he can foresee the future. He's planned this situation. He knew it was coming. Machine Head has his own syndicate ready for this situation. There's like 6 villains. And they start fighting Mark and Titan, Invincible, and they start winning. And there's one incredible villain in here, Battle Beast. He seems to be like a Thor or a Beta Ray Bill kind of character from Planet Hulk. He's like a warrior. He's like he's like a gladiator. And he's into fighting, and he's just looking for a comparable fight. He's like a Lancelot where nobody can ever beat him. So he's just here for the fight. He's just destroying everybody, this guy. He's just like, Battle Beast is a good name. And Mark, and Invincible, and Titan are now being defeated by Machine Head and his syndicate. And the Guardian of the Globe show up. And do you think they're here to rescue? The cavalry's here, they're going to rescue them. And even with their help, they can't win. Battle Beast is just unbelievable. And so are the other villains. There's like a stretchy Plastic Man kind of guy. He's like Doc Ock a little bit with the multiple hands. There's a fire guy, like a torch guy. There's a bunch of different villains that they're fighting in this room. And the glass is a break-proof. So they're in this room, and they're all having this major battle royale. It's a great fight. So it's one of this thing has a lot of great action scenes in it. And so far, this is one of the great fights in this. And Invincible and Monster Girl and Samson, Black Samson, just get beaten to like an inch of their life. And then the series, the episode kind of ends on this twist. So they lose this kind of a fight. And then later we see the twist that Titan had planned it. And Machine Head gets beat up. He loses to the guys. But Titan uses another guy, Isotope, to escape. And now that everyone's been eliminated, his plan all along was to take over his boss's syndicate. His plan wasn't to get out. His plan was to take over his boss's syndicate to give his family a better life. Now he's the crime boss. Now he could be wealthy. So it was a nice twist that he had manipulated Invincible, somewhat like his father said. His father said, don't get involved in this. You could be manipulated and it's dangerous. So in this case, his father actually had the right angle on this one. The next episode is You Look Kinda Dead. And this is the 6th episode of the first season. And Mark joins William and Amber on a campus visit to Upstate University. So they're looking at colleges and they're going to like a university day where they can walk around the campus and be introduced to potential schools. And he goes up with William and Amber, his best friend William, and his girlfriend Amber. And they're going to check out, their future, that they want to go to this university. As they go up there, they notice that there's a lot of signs around where students are missing, and this plot point is going to come back. We're going to have a mini episode here at the university. There's a villain taking people apart and trying to make them better. So he's taking students and trying to put robotics in them and make them superior men. William then goes missing on their day up in the university. And now Invincible Man, Mark, goes looking for his best friend. He realizes that he's involved in this situation. And as he uncovers where his friend is, locked up, about to be turned into one of these evil robots, like these, they're like RoboCop kind of monsters. He uncovers the situation and takes down this little operation going on, and he frees his best friend. But in the process, his best friend realizes that Invincible is Mark. So his identity has been compromised with his best friend. Okay, Debbie finally is on to Nolan, and she confronts him. Why did you kill Guardians of the Globe? She knows he did it. And she goes to the costume maker's house. She takes his costume from the event of that day of the Guardians of the Globe, all bloody, and brings it to his costume maker, Art, I think his name is. And they go over it, and they're analyzing the blood to find out that Omni-Man actually did attack and kill Guardians of the Globe. And now Debbie outright confronts him. What is your plan here? I don't even know you. Like, what is going on? As the family is breaking apart and the episode races ahead. And that was 4, 5, and 6 for you guys out there. It's definitely worth watching this show. It's excellent. The pace is very quick. It's very entertaining. It moves nicely. If you get a chance, if you have Prime, it's on there now streaming. Each episode is like 40 minutes or 44 minutes. You can definitely binge watch these. You can blast through like 2 or 3 episodes at a time. And it has diverged a lot from the comic. It's become its own thing. I think maybe they improved it a little bit. Some aspects of it are improved. So it's definitely worth checking out. And let me know in the comments below if I missed anything. And if you want me to continue to review this series or not. And check out my other videos, okay? Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon.